Hello and welcome back to Cast-on, a knitting podcast where I talk about my finished objects, my whips, some yarn acquisitions and some more knitting things. My name is Ellie, I am from Austria and this is episode number 25. I am so glad you could join me again. I know it's been a while once again, but a lot has happened since the last episode, so I'm gonna go a bit more in depth with that in next week's video, but I will also give you a little bit of a life update at the end because I know not everyone is interested. Thank you all so much for all of your lovely comments and well wishes on the last video. I felt so loved and appreciated, and I'm so grateful to have all of you guys kind of care about me, and I truly felt really special, and I can't thank you enough for all of your kind words. And also thank you so much to Lisa and Bella who joined me on my knit night. I had a great time. I know a lot of people have said before they want to join the Zoom knit night but they couldn't. That is absolutely fine, no pressure. It was always meant to be kind of like a not stressful like meeting and stuff. So I absolutely understand that life can get in the way, and I'm not mad about it at all. I will definitely do one of those again because, like I said, I had such a great time, and I just wanted to say that before we get right into the rest of the video. And thank you all from really the bottom of my heart to have this community and for you to kind of be interested in me and my life even though I'm just talking to a camera. Grab yourself a drink, you're knitting, and we can get right into it. I have a finished object and I don't have it with me anymore because it is my long-awaited Magnolia chunky cardigan by Camilla. I'm gonna insert a picture. I realized after I took the pictures, or after actually a few days, when I looked back on the pictures, they are not very good. The lighting was absolutely awful. I was super stressed in the morning because I had to get it packaged up so it's ready for my mum's birthday, but it turned out so well. I used drops called Merino in this light pink. I got a bit left. This is what it looks like, and Filoclana Tilia. You can go either on to my Ravelry page or have a look through the other videos of my podcast where I talk a bit more about it there if you're interested in the yarn and all of that jazz. But it is finished and I did not rip back the sleeves. I thought that it did grow after blocking, so I was not too worried about it, and some of you guys actually commented that bracelet length is really on trend right now, so I was like, yeah, whatever, it's going to be fine. But because it actually blocked out longer, it fits now perfectly, and the size in general I think also fits very well. It's just the yoke is very deep on my mum, so I probably could have done with sizing down one size. I made the size L. Probably could have gotten away with knitting the size M. It's just because her bust size is a bit of a strange one. I think she's got a 101 centimeter bust, so it's just a bit too big for an M, but just on the very front of the bigger size, and with the added ease it's a lot bigger in general. So I did that twice now, so I think now I really know now that I can make her an M or like the smaller size and what I would normally make if it's with more positive ease. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I finished that. She's very happy. The fit is great. I found these really nice buttons last time I was in my hometown, but I haven't, at that time the cardigan wasn't finished yet, so I couldn't check if the buttons would fit through the hole, and it was a bit of a gamble because the buttons didn't say how big they were, like the diameters. So I was like eyeballing it a bit because I knew the buttonhole was 1 centimeter big, that it probably should fit, and it did, and they look really good. About the pattern, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I think I went through all of the pattern issues that I've had in length in my other videos, and I also have a very in-depth description on my Ravelry page. I will add this, what I'm going to say now, in there as well, because I think people need to be aware of it. And I saw in other people's projects as well that they had the same issues, so it's not just me. And the biggest, or not the biggest, but another problem that I ran into with this pattern is, or was, the button band. You knit the whole cardigan and then you go back and pick up stitches along the edge, and then you knit a few rows for the button band, and that was completely fine. It wasn't the neatest front and like the top and bottom than what I would have liked with the button band, but it was fine. Also, this is the very first cardigan that I've ever made, so I don't really know a lot about cardigans, but because of other people I know that some things have to be clarified in the pattern beforehand. And another issue that I ran into was that she just said in the pattern, and now you have to divide the stitch count, or you have to space out the button band holes evenly, so you get, like, I think it was 9 or 10 buttons in total. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? So there were absolutely no instructions on how many stitches you have to knit before you make a yarn over for the button band hole. So that was a bit of an issue because, like I said, very first time making a cardigan, and the button at the very top, you might see it in the pictures, it's too far down. I should have knit maybe like 2 stitches and then made the first buttonhole, because now you have like a bit of a flap at the top, so it looks a bit strange because it kind of separates, and then yeah, it looks a bit weird. And then at the bottom you are supposed to have 9 buttons, and I only managed to get in 8, and with the last button, the 8th one, that was already a push because the stitch count was uneven, so you couldn't make, I don't know, you couldn't just knit 5 stitches and then do a yarn over. It was like 7.3 or something, so you get a really uneven number. So the bottom also looks a bit strange because the last button is just too far together with the second to last one. But I measured and I saw that if I wouldn't have done that, it would have just been a big gap at the bottom, and I would have had the same problem at the top. I could have avoided that. I could have just ripped back and did the buttonholes a different way, but at that time I was just like, I'm just gonna try it. If it doesn't look good, then she just can't button up the cardigan. Or just do, like, I don't know, a few buttons. Maybe I will do like a small button at the very top, or like an inside hook for her, so she can hook the tops, the top 2 layers together, so it doesn't flare out like it does right now. I don't know, but I was a bit disappointed with that because it's all a bit like willy-nilly, and now you just do this and then you're done, and I'm like, well, you're not. But yeah, that was my Magnolia chunky cardigan. In general, I think the pattern, the design is very beautiful, but I would not make it again. So those were my thoughts on that, and my one and only finished object. And now we can get into whips. Get a sip of tea before we do that. The weather's been very strange. It's been very warm, but now it's been raining again, which I'm very happy about, because that means there's not too much heat, but it's a bit odd. So the first whip, all of the things that I'm going to show you, they grew, but it's not a big progress that I can show you because I have so many like fingering weight projects and stuff. But the first one is my Testknit. It is a stitch to wear by Courtney. Her Instagram handle is called Courtney Knits, is that right? But she's called Courtney, and this is what it looks like. Last time I think I just joined in the round, or maybe did a few inches, I can't remember, but now I have this much of the body. It is a bit of a drag, I have to say. I am doing the waist shaping, which is optional in the pattern, but I thought I would just try it, and it does take a while, especially with this yarn. This is Tynn Lene in the color, let's see, 3021. It is a very light like beigey white, and I think the garment looks incredible. I think I'm really happy with it. It might be a bit too close to my skin color, so I'm trying to get it tan over summer so it might look a bit better, but in general I'm really happy. It is, like I said, a Testknit. I still have to do the neckline. You have to do an I-cord edge, which I know is going to take a while, but I'm almost done with my second ball. It's a bit of a tangled mess, but that's okay. So I actually want to finish the body first, because I have... So the Testknit is due in about a month, on the 21st of July. And I think I'm okay with it. I really powered through the yoke because I knew I wanted to get a really good head start with the yoke and then have kind of more time on the body, and I really do need that time. Pardon me, my voice is going a bit today. But yeah, because last week I didn't knit one bit. I just couldn't. I was so tired. Like I said, I'll tell you more about it later, but this is what it looks like. I will start on the sleeves once I finish with the body. I only have about halfway through the increases for the waist shaping, and then you just have to do an I-cord edge at the bottom as well, which is going to take a while. But in general, I think it is a very nice knit. The only thing I'm gonna say is that it is a fingering weight garment, so it does take a while. And with that many stitches on the needles, I'm making the size B compared to the larger size. No, it's already too much for me. The yarn, it is one of my favorite summer yarns. It is 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. I really like this. I think it is a very light summer garment. It is not too heavy like cotton sometimes can be, but because of it could be the cotton or the linen, it is a bit stringy. Let's get a strand. Probably won't be able to tell. It has like 4 different strands, or 3. Here we go. Peel them apart. There we go. You have all of these different strands, and they really start to dig into my finger because it feels very dry. I've never really had this problem before. Maybe because I'm also working on so many different projects, but because I know this is a test knit and the body will just take a while naturally, that I really have to sit on and just sit with this project for a few hours and knit, that it really starts to hurt my finger. I might have to either use a plaster or something to protect the skin, because where it digs in is like just by my nail here, so it really starts to hurt. Which is not good because I still have a little bit to go with the body. But now that I'm almost done, I think if I do maybe like one increase set a day, then I can finish the body within like a week, and then the sleeves hopefully will be a lot quicker. You do have this really nice ruffle, which is what drew me to this Testknit before, and which is the reason why I'm doing it. And I think this will go a bit faster than the body, at least I hope so. But yeah, Testknit has been fun. I've not really had too much, I've not been in contact too much with the other Testknitters because we are just in like one big group chat, and everyone kind of states their problems or questions, so there's not been a lot of like communication, but that's fine by me because I don't really have the time for those things anyways. And maybe next time you will see this finished, I really don't know. Maybe, we'll see how far I get. I hope the next time at least I can finish with the body. That is the goal. So that was my first whip, and then my second whip is also something you've seen for such a long time now, and I'm really sorry that I have to keep showing you this. This is my Moonset tee by Ozetta. I just knit on the body. That's all I'm doing. I finished the sleeves. Yeah, just knit on the body. I think it looks really good. I tried it on and I'm really happy with it. The yarn that I'm using is Olivia and Oliver Fibers Merino fingering weight in the colour Feather. And I do have a while to go. This is what I have left still. And it feels like I'm knitting on this and nothing changes, and I know this is basically the definition of a fingering weight project, but it's such a drag. I don't know how many times I will show you this before I finish it. Maybe I won't show it to you for a while, because now it's really just the boring bit, the body, and you can't really tell if someone made any progress. But I'm really happy with the fit. I'm very much looking forward to blocking it, because as you can see, the sleeves, they curl up even though you do have an I-cord edge, and it is a bit tight in general. I am making the smallest size, which is XS, I think, which is, you know, fine by me. But right now I felt like I would be at the waist, and then I tried it on and it would just barely cover my bra, so I still have a while to go. I am doing helical knitting because I am using fingering weight yarn. I've never really been great at it, and this project is no exception. Here you can definitely see, this is under the underarm, you can see the big line, and you have I have a really stretched out stitch. I know that this is kind of normal, but I am still a bit annoyed because you can definitely see that. So what happened was that the stitch, after the change, I pulled them too tightly, so these are way tighter than the normal ones, and then you have the two before you change the yarn, which are super stretched out. So it just looks a bit strange overall. Maybe I can block it out a little bit. I know it's on the side and it might just look like a side seam, but I tried really hard to not get the same problem as when I made another top last year with hand-dyed yarn, and I tried helical knitting the first time. I think it's called helical knitting. That's where you change the yarn, alternating skeins, and I had the same problem. I know I'm pulling too tightly, but the reason why I'm pulling is because the other two stitches are so loose that there's just a big gap. And yeah, that is all I can say about this project. Really happy with it. I might make another one, not anytime soon, because I'm kind of done with fingering weight projects at the moment. But in the future I would definitely, where does this go? I would definitely make this t-shirt again because I think the fit is very, very flattering and it looks like a really simple yet classy tee. So this is project number 2, and then project number 3 is my sock tube, which is going really, really well. This is my sock tube. I am using some leftover sock yarn from last Christmas. I'm almost done with the ball. I have the green stripe and then the red left. Not everything of the red, but probably till the very first stripe. And I actually put a marker in when I showed it to you last time, and I was very surprised to see that I did all of this last time. Maybe I knit a bit more and then put the marker in, but this is what I did since last time. It does go a bit slower now because the needles start to hurt my hands. I always knew that my hands cramp up with these small circular needles. I'm using my Chiagu shorty, what's it called, red lace set, and I love these. I would really, really like to have all of like the whole needle set, not just the shorty tips of this brand, because I really like them a lot. But they are cramping my hands. So I have to take a lot of breaks, and with all of the fingering weight and summary projects, I don't really feel like it either. But I was determined to make some socks, so that's what I'm just gonna continue to do. I do have another one of these. I don't know where it is right now. I have another one of these, but because the sock tube is already quite long, just with this one ball, I might not use the second one in this one, but just start a new sock tube. I don't know, I have to check, because I actually tried it on and I know how many rows I need for my leg and for my foot. Excuse me. And so I can put in the heel, and I think I just finished kind of the foot of the second sock, so I still have a little bit to go. But it's been fun, it's been great. I don't know how this is going to fit. This is another first for me, sock tube, but I'm just interested in trying, because if it does fit semi-okay, I might just do that with all of my scraps and kind of make either one big sock tube or smaller sock tubes, and then just make one pair of socks out of the tube. I don't know if I'm making any sense today. But this is the plan. I have to see what kind of yarn I could use for the toe and the heel, if I'm gonna use the other yarn or if that's just gonna look way too strange, because yeah, it would just look strange. Or if I'm just gonna use a different sock yarn that I have, but the problem is that they are not the same thickness, I think. Anyway, we'll get to that when we come to it. And a new project that I have, a new cast-on, is another summer cast-on. This is the Crescendo summer top by Sophie, the Knit Purl Girl. Why is this so tangled? Here we go. And I started it, and I've been really enjoying it. I know I don't have a lot, because again I didn't have the time, but this is what it looks like. I opted for the I-cord cast on because I thought it looks really feminine and very nice, and it's a bit, you know, different than from my other tops with the normal 1x1 or 2x2 rib. So this has been very fun. The cast on took forever. I had to do this in multiple, like over multiple days, just because it would take so long. I know this cast on is a labor of love, but I did not think that it would take this long. But I know that the look would be absolutely worth it, so that's why I still did it. The only problem is that I kind of, you can see better on the pearl side, I stretched out the very first stitch. I think I cast it on a bit too tightly and used kind of the wrong needle size. I don't know what happened, but it looks very loose. Maybe it won't be a problem after all in the end. But when you join them, it's not a great join. There were no instructions on how to join, neither in the pattern nor in the video that she recommended that we watch for this cast on. It's very like, this is where you start, I have my tail here, and this is where you end, and you have this big gap in between. It does not look neat at all, so I'm just gonna try and like graft it together to make it look a bit neater, but I don't know how that's gonna be. But yeah, started with the lace. I'm still on the very first diamond. I really enjoy working lace. I've done a lot of lace projects lately, and especially the really simple ones. I think they're super fast and engaging, which is exactly what I need, which is I think why I don't enjoy the other projects as much, because they're just plain knitting and I need a bit of brain power to use. Anyway, about the yarn, I'm using Sandnesgarn Lene, which is the bigger brother or sister of Tynn Lene. The exact same composition. It's 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen. And this is the DK weight. Tynn Lene is the fingering weight. And this is color 3042. It is, I think it's called Cafe au lait or something like that. It is a bit darker, you can definitely tell if you compare these two. It is definitely darker, but maybe this will work a bit better with my skin color because you do have a bigger contrast. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know when and how fast I can work on this because I'm a bit stressed with my Testknit. But it's been fun to just kind of cast on something new because I think I really need some new projects. And then the last whip that I have is also something I cast on new. I literally cast that on yesterday night because I have so many summer projects that I really crave a sweater. I know this is not ideal because we are getting into summer. It is getting very hot, and it's really not the time to cast on a sweater, but I really felt like it. I felt like a bigger project, bigger needles, so yeah, that's what we're doing. This is everything that I did yesterday. My elbow started hurting actually, which I'm a bit worried about. I need to make like a I need to start doing some strength exercises, something with weights, so I use my muscles and not just sit at home on my computer. Anyway, this will be the Porcelain sweater by Lene. I can't remember her last name. I think it's Lene. It's the brand name. But the Porcelain sweater, I'm very excited about it. I really like the design. It does have color work in it, which I've been waiting to cast something on with color work, because color work is another thing that I really enjoy, and this sweater just looked absolutely incredible. I've just not had the time to cast it on with everything that's been going on, but now I did and I'm really happy. I don't know how much I can actually work on it in summer because it is wool. I am using Drops Karisma in the color 1. It is like the off-white, I think, a very beautiful color, and then the contrast color will be a dark brown. I still have it somewhere in my box. I don't have it out yet because I don't need it yet, but maybe next time you will see a little bit of a color work in this piece already. I am very excited about it. I am making the size XS to S because she's got a bit of a funny size range. The positive ease on this sweater is a lot, just like with most drop shoulders. This is a drop shoulder design. It is, I think, 15 to 20 centimeters, and because I am trying to gain some weight, I do want to think about the future and what will still fit me once I get there. But yeah, I'm really excited about it, very excited to try and cast on non-summer projects because I'm a little bit sick of them already, I have to say. Summer projects are not my favorite things to work on. I don't know why, maybe it's just because it's a lot of fingering weight, it's a lot of really small needles, it doesn't give me like the gratification that I need from like sweaters. Also, all of my favorite things that I want to knit, like color work, you don't really have those in summer designs. You do have a lot of lace, but I just need, like, I don't know, I never wear these things, so I don't want to waste my time in a sense, even though I do enjoy making the garment. So yeah, those were all of my whips. After a lot of rambling, we can get into acquisitions, and this time I do have some acquisitions, partly because I kind of felt a tiny bit guilty for not showing you anything, but the bigger part was like, I want to cast on a lot of projects, and I don't have really the yarn for it, so I bought some things. I bought some knitting for Olive. I bought some last year. It's actually, I think it's been a year. I got one of these Instagram like throwbacks to what you did a year ago, what you posted, and I think I already had that in there. So I bought some knitting for Olive. I bought some pure silk. This is the color dark cognac. It is 250 meters per 50 grams, 28 stitches per 10 centimeters, and a 3mm needle as the recommended needle size. I already have this color and I just bought more of it. I needed, I think, 3 or 4 more balls of it because, and this is also kind of going into my future cast on plans, this will be the Carina tee by Sarah Nordland. She came out with this design and I thought it would look amazing in pure silk. It's also the recommended yarn, and you hold it double, and because Knitting for Olive does not have this yarn in a DK weight, I just had to buy more of this, and I think it's going to be super worth it. I really like the color. I think it's a very nice brown, not my typical color. I mean, none of these really are. I'm really into beige at the moment, I feel like. But I still need to try and find the perfect beige for my skin color. Anyway, this will be a tee. Like I said, it's got this really beautiful cable design, and I can't wait to cast this on. I've just now had the brain power to try and cast it on, because when you download the pattern you get the normal instructions and then you get like a million different charts, which of course is great because it's really easy to understand what she wants you to do, but it's very overwhelming when you have like 5 different charts you need to download as well, and all of them are like massive because the back panel is just has to be very big, of course. So yeah, t-shirt will be this, and then I bought some more Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Putty. Again, this is fingering weight yarn, 250 meters per 50 grams. It is a very light, like white grey color, And with this, I also had this in my stash already, I just needed more of it. I do want to make the, is it twist loop, I think it's called, by someone else, I can't remember. I see this top everywhere. I also follow her on Instagram, and then I just get more pictures of projects from other people, so I really want to make it. I don't know how well this will go though, because this is, I think, 100% merino. Yeah, 100% extra fine merino. And like I said many times before, summer in Austria is hot, like super hot, like hot to the extent you don't want to put anything on your body because you're sweating so much and you're just sticky and icky, and that's how hot it gets. So I don't know how wearable this will be, also because it will be a like a tank top, and I really like the look of tank tops, but I have very broad shoulders, so anything that kind of highlights that design wise is not great for my body type. So I don't know if I will stick with this plan, but I do have some more now, and I've never worked with knitting for Olive before. I do have, like I said, some of it in my stash, but I just bought like such a small quantity that I couldn't either find a project or find one that I liked. So this is the second acquisition, and then the last one is also knitting for Olive, cotton merino this time. This is a grey lamb, 70% cotton and 30% merino. Heard really good things about this. This has got the same specs as the other two, and it is a very light grey. I thought it would be less grey than it actually is, but I think it's going to be okay. I do have a lot of grey in my stash now, and I'm not super drawn to it because I now already have one grey sweater, my sweater number 18. But I have absolutely no plans for this. I really just wanted to try it because I heard such good things about cotton merino, to use this instead of just the normal merino base for summer garments. But I still have to try out if a combination like this, cotton and merino, is too hot. So we'll see about this. So those were my yarn acquisitions. Very happy about them. The parcel came super quick. I ordered it from their website. I ordered it straight from Knitting for Olive in Denmark, and it came within like a week. I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get like an email that it said, where it said it will get dispatched, or it is dispatched, or something like that, because it was just all a bit up in the air. But we got there in the end, and I'm really happy, and highly recommend ordering if you have the possibility, of course, from their website. And then the last thing is knitting related, but it is not yarn, and I forgot to show you last time, but I'm happy that I kind of waited, because now I can give you like a real honest review. I bought myself a knitting / reading light. This is by the company Glucoscent. That's what it says. And I love this thing. I'm gonna leave a link down below so you can check it out and get it for yourself if you're looking for something like this. You do have 2 lights on both sides right here, and you have 3 different light settings. So you have a very like normal one, a brighter one, and a super bright one. And you do have 3 different, oh my eyes, you have 3 different temperatures as well for the light. So you can have the like yellow light, a whiter light, and then like a bluish white light. I really like the yellow light because it doesn't hurt my eyes as much, but I thought that was really cool. It sits comfortably around your neck, and you can really bend those lights however you want to. When you're sitting, you can bend it up, you can bend it down. Really happy with this. You can charge it with a normal I think it's a C port, so kind of a charger that everyone has nowadays anyways. I mean, it just comes with a charger naturally, but just saying, if it breaks or if you forgot it, you can charge it with whatever you have at hand for most technical devices. So yeah, those were all of my acquisitions, and now I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what's been going on. If you're not interested in that, I hope that you had some fun with me. I know it has been a bit chaotic today, and I'm gonna try and get onto my normal 2-week schedule again. But now, what's been going on? I have already told you that on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, go ahead and do that, because I have a lot of fun on Instagram. I found an apartment and I will be moving out in 2 weeks, or at least try to move some of the stuff out, which is very exciting, because this place has just been getting hotter and hotter, and I tried to find a place that is in the same area, not too far from the underground, which is very important for me. And I found a place and I got it immediately. I literally went there, had a look at it, everything was fine, and then said, yeah, I would like to take it. And then a few days later I signed the contract and got the keys. So I will be moving out. It will be very hectic, very chaotic. I don't know how my space will look like. It is also very expensive, but that's life, I guess, at the moment. I have a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to declutter quite a lot. I'm gonna try and sell some like old shoes and books and stuff that I don't need anymore to try and get some money in, but also just give the stuff away and not have it collecting dust at my place, my new place. The new place is smaller. It is not 100% ideal, but I'm happy enough with the place that I got it. I do have a bathtub. I don't have a shower anymore, which is kind of good and bad. I personally don't like baths. I much prefer showers, and we never had a bath, but I'm just gonna have to get used to that. I do have 2 rooms, which I'm so happy about. Because if you don't know, this place where I'm at right now, I live in the attic at the moment, and it's all just 1 room, and then the bathroom, which is separate, but apart from that, everything else is 1 room. So your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, which has been very difficult over the past few years, but it has rooms, and the floors are a bit wonky. They do dip a bit, so I'm gonna have to see how that works out with tables and desks and chairs and all of that stuff. But I'm excited to decorate the stuff, to get, you know, new furniture that I like, where I don't need like a second opinion on. And in general, I think it's just been a very good time to find a new place and to move out. So that is the big news. What else has happened? Like I said, last week I couldn't knit at all because I was not here in Vienna. I took the train to my hometown, and I spent the week in my hometown because it was my mum's 50th birthday. So we had a lovely time at my grandparents' like weekend home up in the hills, where you only have like 2 neighbors around and then no one for miles and miles. You're in the woods, you're on a hill, and it's really nice to be in nature. I helped around the house. I helped in the garden because the garden is pretty darn big, especially for 1 person, so I try to get as much done as possible. I dragged out some trees from the bushes because we had some issues with the people who cut down the trees, and I hacked some wood. And this is primarily the reason why I couldn't knit, because I got blisters all over my hands and scratches and all of that stuff. They have now healed, but when your hands are not used to this hard work, then you do bruise easily and you do hurt yourself. But that's fine, because it felt really good to use my body again, to be outside of the city and just be around, you know, my family and stuff. So the party was a lot of fun. My mum invited lots of her friends. We had like a barbecue situation where people kind of could just go and get, I don't know, some sausages, some meat, some salads, and then sit back down and had good conversations, lots and lots of cake. I made my mum a tiramisu, she made like another cake, and then her best friend brought a proper Sachertorte, which is the Austrian cake. You can say it's like a chocolate cake with some jam in the middle. It's apricot traditionally, and then the whole cake is covered in chocolate, which was absolutely delicious because it was also homemade. And I think, yeah, in general we just had a really great time. The weather was not the best, it was quite cold which is such a big inconvenience, because the days before it was super hot, and then on the day when you actually need it, it rained in the morning and it was cold. But you can't control the weather, you can just take what you can get. And I love the house. It's like going back in time. I spent a lot of my childhood up there. My granddad would chop wood. He actually built some of the house. So it's just a very, very special place in my heart. And it was very nice to also have a fire in the garden in the evening, and yeah, just enjoy the time, I guess. So those two things were kind of the big things that have happened over the past 2 weeks. And if you are interested in some reading things, I do have one book recommendation. I forgot now to actually bring my book where I write all of this down, but the title is In a Jam. Like I said, I'm gonna put a picture here because I can't remember the author. This book is absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed it so much. I could not put it down. It is kind of like a second chance romance. So the two main characters, the woman came back to her old, she inherited a farm from her step grandma when she died, and her best friend from high school has also opened another farm, and he's like really big now. And it was just a really beautiful story, so go and check that book out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Great book, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that is everything from me today. Like I said, I'm really sorry about all of the chaotic energy. I kind of got out of the swing of things but we will get back into it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to my channel. Head over to Instagram and follow me there if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in next week's video, where we're gonna have a little heart-to-heart chat. If not, then that is fine. I might see you in 2 weeks for another podcast episode. And until then, I hope you're well, your knitting is going great, and happy knitting. Bye!